In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can turn your Claude Code terminal session to look something really plain like this to something like this where we have the model that we're using and also shows the progress bar, exactly how much context percentage that we have used so far, and as well as the current token size that we have consumed inside of the current context window. And we can also change the theme of it. For example, I have changed this to using the Solarized Light theme, and you can be able to change different colors of it for the status bar you're using based on your preference. And of course, you can also include more values like the versions, the model ID, the current directories, the project you're using, and so much more. And the reason why we do this is because we always want to stay under a certain context every time when we interact with Claude Code. Because after we exceed a certain threshold for a context window, we usually get a lower accuracy for the AI generation. And we have to use the /context here to see that. And that's why in this video, I'm going to show you exactly step by step on how to set this up on your local machine and how you can be able to configure this, as well as walking you through an example of using Claude Code and how we can be able to monitor this and be able to improve our Claude Code's accuracies using this way to monitor our Claude Code context. So pretty much that's what we're going to cover in this video. And if you do find value in this video, please make sure to like this video. And if you're interested, let's get into it. All right, so before we jump in, a quick intro for those who are new here. My name is Eric, and I have spent years as a senior software engineer at companies like Amazon, AWS, and Microsoft. And I have started this YouTube channel to share everything I have learned along the way, from AI encoding to automations, Web3, career developments, and more, all broken down into practical tutorials that you can actually follow. So if you're ready to level up, make sure to check out my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the video. So to get started, first thing first, we're going to navigate to JQ, and we're going to install this onto our local machine for the command line JSON processor. So I'm just going to click on download, and you can be able to download this with your Mac OS or Linux operating system. And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to click on download right here. There's actually give you a command on exactly how we can install this. So if you have brew installed on your local machine, you can simply just use the brew install JQ and basically have this installed. So I'm just going to navigate to my terminal. Here you can see I have a project open, and I'm just going to simply paste this command to brew install JQ. And once we have this installed, I'm just going to clear my terminal and I'm just going to start my Claude Code session. So here you can see this is my Claude Code session. And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to use the status line right here, which is the command. And then followed by that command, I'm just going to provide the prompt. First, I want to mention that I'm currently using Mac OS for the operating system, and I would like to install this globally. And please create a separate .sh file for the script. So that's basically my prompt. And I'm just going to enter this. All right, so now you can see that the status line setup agent here has configured a global status line with our Mac OS operating system. So here is what it creates. So it creates a script here, which is a bash script that displays the model name, the current directory, the Git branch, as well as the contact remaining, and also the output style, okay? And basically it has stored this in the settings for the global environment. And then to complete the setup, simply we're just gonna run this command in our terminal and restart our Claude Code session. So after I run that command, basically in my root directory, here you can see I'm just going to simply start my Claude Code session again. And here you can see that this is my Claude Code session, right? So right here, you can see that we have our status bar right here, which is showing automatically. So which model we're using, the context window, and also the amount of tokens that we have consumed so far. All right. So basically what we can do now is I can be able to use the status line here to basically prompt it and asking what are some options that we can add onto our status line. So that's basically my prompt. I'm just going to ask what are some options that we can include in our status line, and status line command here is going to fetch what are the options that we can have, right? So right here you can see right off the bat it's consumed 23%. So we can actually be able to verify that it's actually consumed 23%. And I'm just going to say currently for the context. So if I were to type in context, it should show me exactly what's the consumption look like, right? But while I was doing that, I also want to show you what we have, right? So for example, we can show the model, the context for the total tokens, the context window size. There's also the session, the workspace, so the current directory. And here you can see if I were to do the /context, you can see that it shows that currently we have consumed 23% of our context window. Okay, so in total we have 200K, but so far we have consumed 47K. So if I were to scroll all the way down, you can see that it's accurate based on what we have, right? So how much we have consumed, 23%, as well as how much tokens we have consumed. But I think this one's a bit inaccurate because if we were to scroll all the way up, you can see that currently we have consumed this much, right? So we have consumed 23%. So I'm just gonna copy this, and here I'm just gonna say currently you can see that we have consumed 23% in our status bar. It shows 23% here in the context window. But most importantly, you can see the token here is inaccurate based on what we see. Can you be able to make sure that this is aligned with how much token that we have consumed in the current context window? So I'm just gonna paste this prompt and pass it to the status line right here, and hopefully it should be able to fix this. All right, so now you can see that it has fully fixed, and here you can see that this is the percentage that we have, and so far we have used 66K out of 200K. And I also ask it to give the entire, like, what are the field values that you have, right? So for example, it has the total input tokens, the output tokens, and also the entire context window size, which is 200K, and also the use percentage, which is 32, which is what we have displayed here, right? And then also we have our input tokens and then the output tokens. So the actual context usage here is basically the cache read input and also the cache creation input tokens plus the input tokens and the output tokens, which gives you the entire max of the 32% out of the 200K. Okay, so basically that gives you a calculation for how much tokens that we have used. So you can see here that we give a much more accurate answer based on this. All right, so now in this case, I'm just gonna open a new terminal and I'm just gonna open the other Claude Code session. And here you can see that it has a status inline here or status bar showing inside of our Claude Code session. All right, so pretty much that's how you can be able to install the status bar inside of your Claude Code. And how can you do this? And I basically wrote up a MD file here. Simply you just pass this MD file to the Claude Code session and basically have Claude Code here to instruct it and follow that guide to install it, help you to install it without the pain that we just went through, okay? And I'll make sure to put that doc inside of our community for our Discord channel, which is completely free. So right now you can see I have navigated to another computer which is using VS Code for this particular project, and I basically just referenced this entire path for this MD file. And I'm just gonna say, please follow this MD file here to set up the status line bar, which is what I mentioned inside of this MD file. And that's basically my prompt to instruct Claude Code here to follow the MD file to set up the status bar. So I'm just gonna send this request and let's have Claude Code here to execute this. All right, so now you can see that Claude Code has executed everything that we mentioned inside of that document. And here you can see as at the end, you can see that this is exactly what we saw inside of the other computer that we just saw, right? So right here you can see we have our opus, we have the bar, we have how much tokens we have consumed. So you don't have to deal with all that. Just pass the document to Claude Code and let Claude Code here to install it based on the instruction that we provide in the documentation and have your status bar ready to go right away. And just for testing, I'm just gonna stop this terminal session, clear the terminal, and I'm just gonna restart my Claude Code session. And right here you can see we have the bar still present after we restart our Claude Code session as well. So let's say if I want to give it another prompt and try to see if the status line here works. So I have started a terminal session for the application, and this is what the application looks like. So you can see we have our dashboard, right? So basically this is the dashboard view, and also we have our transaction. And what I noticed that there's a bug is that currently for the so I'm just gonna first take a screenshot of this and come back to the Claude Code session, paste the image here, and I'm just gonna say currently inside of the dashboard statements for the transaction table, you can see that for the source file column, if we have a CSV or if we also have a Google Sheets, they actually display the same badge. And what I want to do here is I want to change the icon for the badge inside of it to have a different badge for Google Sheets or the same badge for CSV or spreadsheet or Excel sheets, right? So in this case, we want to differentiate different file types. So can you be able to help me to do that? And that's basically my prompt. And I'm not gonna change it to a plan mode and basically have it to execute. And let's try to see if the status bar here changed. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see that it took 24% of our current context window. And let's try to see how much context is actually consuming for completing this task.
Before we jump into the next section, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, TestSprite. TestSprite is an AI agent built specifically for software testing. And with the release of the TestSprite MCP, you can now use it directly inside your coding IDE. So Cursor, Windsurf, Claude Code, and more. Setup is super simple. You just add the configuration in your MCP settings and you're good to go. What I really like about TestSprite is that it doesn't blindly run tests. It first reads through your entire codebase, understands the documentation, and validates the results your AI agents produce. It automatically generates a test plan from your PRD, creates test cases, ensures proper test coverage, and all of that without any manual input. From there, it executes the tests and sends detailed reports back to you, clearly showing what's broken and what needs attention. Most coding agents today average around 42% accuracy. But with TestSprite MCP, teams have been able to boost feature delivery accuracy up to 93%. So if you're interested in checking it out, you can watch the video I made on it or click the link in the description below for more details. Back to the video.
Okay, so now you can see that it has prompting some questions. So should the CSV and Excel files share the same color, or would you like them to have different colors? So I would say same color. So same color for all of them, including spreadsheet, but it's only the icon here that needs to change. But CSV, Excel, they can share with the same icon. And that's my prompt. And I'm just gonna say that. And you can see that we also have our progress bar here changed, as well as the amount of tokens that's changed as well. And then here you can see it gives me a plan. So I'm just gonna read over the plan here. So basically differentiate the file type icon in the source file column. So change the source file column in the transaction table to display the distinct icons for Google Sheets versus CSV and Excel sheets. And here, let's take a look at the current state. Okay, so this is basically before, and after is that it's gonna add another icon. So if it's Google Sheets, it's gonna change that to the file from spreadsheets. All right, so in this case, I'm just gonna click on clear context and bypass permission. So right here, you can see that it has cleared the context while Claude Code here is changing the code. All right, so now you can see that the Google Sheet has the distinct sheet icon, which is different from other icons that we have, right? So these are all the icon lists that we have here, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna navigate back to the application. Here you can see this is the spreadsheet. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so now let's say if I were to navigate to like CSV data, you can see there's a completely different spreadsheet. So I'm just gonna take a picture of this, come back here, I'm just gonna drag it over here, and that's gonna be image 2. And I'm also gonna go all the way here, and I'm also gonna say, take a screenshot of this and take it here. I'm just gonna say currently those two icons here looks kind of very, very similar. Is there any way that we can differentiate it? My take here is probably using like a G, or in this case, the logo of Google Sheets, right? Try to use that for an example, or maybe even better, like just use G for Google Sheets or something. Maybe trigger the front-end design skill here to have a better design. So that's basically my prompt, and let's try to continue to use it and see if the progress bar here changed. All right, so as the end result here, you can see this is what we got. So it's exactly like a Google logo, which you can see right here for the source file, right? So people can be able to easily differentiate that this is from Google Sheets, or at least from a Google file, right? So in this case, we can be able to have a clear differentiation of that. And if I were to go to the last page, you can see that the CSV data here still shows the same, okay? So which is really cool. So you can see that's how we can be able to complete this, right? And so far, because every time when I do the plan mode and it clears the context, so right now you can see that we have roughly around 25% of our context window have consumed. Now, you might be wondering, why is this helpful? Well, the reason is because we can be able to see this every single time. And through that, we can be able to see, okay, well, initially when we try to use Claude Code, it actually took up like 25 or 20 or 30% of the initial context window. So what you can do here is that you can be able to take this and ask Claude Code to investigate it and see why it takes so much context for the initial context usage, right? So you can see that it has done an investigation on what's contributing for the high initial context usage inside of our Claude Code session. And here's what it has done. So based on the investigation, it has found out that the main contributions for the initial context usage is the following. So you can see, for example, we have taken about 20K for the system prompt, which is what we have, and also the MCP tool definitions, as well as the Claude MD file, and also these ones, right? And simply we can tell Claude to basically generate a plan on exactly what are some MCP servers, or what are some things in our system prompt that we can remove to make our initial context window much more shorter. Because the higher context consumption for the initial prompts, the lower the accuracy it is. And I think we all know that for the context rod, right? So in this case, that's exactly what I did. I basically tell Claude, hey, I want you to generate a plan, and basically Claude is gonna do the investigation on these specific plugins, configurations, or files that it creates a higher consumption. So you can see that it has spin up multiple sub-agents here to do the research, analyze the problem here, and then eventually here you can see it basically prompt me with a question on how aggressive do you want the optimization to be. And here I'm just going to choose a conservative here to disable like 4 redundant plugins and keep the Claude MD file here mostly intact, because we don't want to lose any rules that we set in our Claude MD file. So I'm just going to enter this, and hopefully it should refine this as we go. All right, so as a result here, you can see that it's basically going to remove these 4 Claude Code plugins, which here you can see we have our code review, TypeScript LSP, and the code simplifier, and also the feature dev for the Claude settings, and also removing the duplication front-end design, which is already duplicates. So it's going to remove that. And also here you can see this is what the Claude settings look like after it has done. So it's going to remove this duplication, which should clean up our context window initially for the prompts. And here you can see this is the implementation checklist. So disable the global plugins and also clean the project plugins. And then here initially before we have 13 now, and after that we have 9, which saves about like 8 to 12K for the tokens. So pretty much that's the plan for reducing the initial high context for the context window. So I'm just gonna say continue here, and it's gonna spin up a new session here to basically try to complete this job. All right, so now you can see that it has removed this global settings for the 4 plugins, and it should work now. So I'm just gonna stop my terminal session and basically start a new Claude Code session. And I'm just gonna say, based on the current uncommitted changes right now, can you be able to commit it with a detailed commit message? And that's my prompt, and I'm just gonna submit this. And let's see how much consumption it takes initially. So currently you can see it takes 23%, which is a lot better compared to before, because before it was like 24 or 25. Roughly, you can see this is how we can be able to clean up our token consumption initially, because the lower it is, the higher accuracy that it gets for the AI, right? So pretty much that's how you can use it and benefit from it to examine the current context window for the conversation, and to see how you can be able to use that to increase the accuracy for AI to producing the code that you want. So pretty much that's it for this video. And if you do find out this video, please make sure to like this video, consider subscribe for more content like this. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.